I won it and started to teach my 10-week program. So that was a big change for me to go forward. And when I graduated, the director, Brian Clemens, recommended we go with a nonprofit and my son had one. It was called Fat Free Nation, PHAT. And he said, why don't you apply to be the director, which I did. And so we changed the name to Optimum Health Solution and later to Eat to Thrive.
You're listening to the Plant-Based Eating for Health podcast show. I'm your host, Kathleen Gage. We're here to plant seeds on compassion to animals, your health, and the environment, and topics related to business that align with all three of those areas. Enjoy the show. Well, today I have a very, very special guest with me who is a longtime vegan, and she is such an advocate. I can't wait to read her introduction because I have to read this to make sure that I get everything that's important, and she's going to share the rest. By the way, I'm Kathleen Gage, and you're listening to the Plant-Based Eating for Health podcast show. Betsy Bragg is the founder of Eat to Thrive and Real Kids Food, two innovative programs inspired by the Hippocrates Health Institute and launched in 2005. Through her work, Betsy has empowered adults and children alike to embrace whole, living foods, create lifelong healthy habits, and cultivate a compassionate lifestyle. She's the author of several books, including Eat to Thrive, 10 Weeks to Lifelong Healthy Habits, and Healthy Living, and continues to dedicate her life to making sustainable health accessible to all. So Betsy, with that, great to have you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. And let's start with your plant-based journey and your vegan journey. When did you go plant-based, and were you always identified as a vegan, or did that come after the fact?
Well, it really started when I was 49 and my son was 19 and sophomore in college. And he was out for crew. He rowed, and his teammate, they were pretty well matched. And then when his teammate got ahead, he would question, what's he doing that I'm not doing? And he started researching it. And he found that when he ate processed foods, he got sleepy and sluggish. And he was very interested in the fact. So he went to Bastyr University in Oregon, which trains naturopaths, and got their bibliography and started reading all about it. And it really changed him completely. He started just being plant-based, sleeping well, not drinking alcohol. And it really changed and transformed his life. And he saw that his mom was struggling. And I was overweight. I was 235 pounds. And I was very struggling with learning disabilities and substance abuse. And I was very depressed. And he thought he wanted to do something. So he investigated all the different health venues and found that Hippocrates really had the best results of any that he saw. And he was trying to persuade me to go. And I was always making excuses, too much money and not enough time. And he said, what if I pay for it? And that sold it to me. And he sent me to Hippocrates for 3 weeks, and it transformed my life.
Well, now you said that you started at 49, and how many years ago was that?
Well, I am not very good at addition or subtraction, but I'm 91 now.
I love it. I love it. And that's what I wanted people to know, is that you've been thriving for 41 years, I believe it is, 42 years as a vegan plant-based eater. And you were 235 pounds. How tall are you?
5'2".
Okay, so at 235, now I'm 5'9", so that would be probably about 280 pounds for somebody like me. So, kind of put it into perspective here. And now at the Hippocrates Health Institute, what did you learn that changed basically your lifestyle?
Well, I just felt so good being on a plant-based diet. It just all of a sudden I wasn't so sluggish. I really felt good just eating vegetables and raw vegetables at that. And there was a great assortment of them. And I came back from the 3-week transformation program, quite transformed, and started. My son had a potluck at the house, and met Joe Lucier, who ran the New England Raw New England community, and we put on dinner speaker series and had about 125 people coming and good speakers, and everybody brought raw food to the potluck. And I wanted to teach, being an educator for 45 years. Uh, I really wanted much more to know. And so I took the 9-week Hippocrates training program to be a health educator. And they offered $2,000 for the best program to promote the lifestyle of Hippocrates. And I developed a 10-week program, and which is basically my whole program now for both the real kids and for Eat to Thrive. And I won it and started to teach my 10-week program. So that was a big change for me to go forward. And when I graduated, the director, Brian Clemens, recommended we go with a nonprofit and and my son had one. It was called Fat Free Nation, PHAT. And he said, why don't you apply to be the director, which I did. And so we changed the name to Optima Health Solution and later to Eat to Thrive. And then I started teaching, and I could go on and on. Where do you want me to go?
Well, I'm curious, what makes the Eat to Thrive program, and that's the 10-week program?
Yes.
What makes that different than other health or nutrition programs that people might have tried before or they're considering trying? What's the distinction?
So many people think of it just a quick fix. They just a short thing. They go on some pills and so forth, and they lose a lot of weight, and then it comes all back again because they haven't transformed it into a lifestyle, and it needs that transformation of really, really feeling the difference. And it really blends knowledge with practice. So I have a 386-page resource book. I'll show it to you.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So there's a lot of resources in it. And we go through all the 10 programs there with guest speakers that really make a difference. And also, we personalize it. So everybody writes down their background, and I go through. I have a master's degree in guidance too,
Mm-hmm.
and from Stanford, and so I guide them through having them talk about their 3 objectives for that 10 weeks and what habits they want to achieve. And we as a group help them achieve those habits, and we tailor the program to the person's needs. Everybody has a buddy, and their buddy meets on the outside to see how they do after, and they discuss the objectives of the course and the topic of the time. So, and then this really helps them. And so it's really built on a holistic approach.
Okay.
Mindfulness, emotional well-being, and purpose to support participants
I love the idea of purpose, because I would imagine that ties in with one's spiritual practices, whatever that may be.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned that you have guest speakers. Who are some of those guest speakers that you've had?
Well, my son is one of them.
Okay. Keep it all in the family.
And he's great. Joe Lucier has written 10 books. He's really wonderful on cleansing and life purpose, and has helped many people. His program now is called Anasaur Wellness, and he has taught Tongren and distance healing, and is a very spiritual person, a guide person. The Rebecca Matzel has her own with Randy Jacobs runs Life Force Growers, growing wheatgrass and sprouts, and Rebecca's in New York doing the same, and they're both terrific. And will show people exactly how to grow effectively sprouts, because the sprouts are the life force that we should all have. We should all be growing sprouts, and it's they it's really the life force that goes through you when you have raw living food that's fresh.
Mhm. Well, it's interesting you should bring that up because I've just started seeing stuff online about wheatgrass and about fermentation and, the benefits. And when did you first get into the fermentation and the sprouting?
Well, back in 2006, when I went to Hippocrates
Okay.
for the 3 week transformation, we had wheatgrass juice every morning and every night. And it was wonderful. We'd have 4 ounces in the morning and 4 ounces at night. And we'd also take an enema and put wheatgrass up into us and clean ourselves out. So that was terrific. You can feel the wheatgrass.
Right, right. So now, do you still drink wheatgrass on a daily basis?
Yes, and now I get it. Now I'm in senior living,
Uh-huh.
and it's harder to sprout in my 2 rooms. So I have from Dynamic Greens in Canada. They send sheets with pellets in them, and it's very good. Sometimes when you grow your own, it can be a little hard to swallow.
I've tried it, years ago I tried wheatgrass and it's like, ooh, that was bitter.
And that comes because it wasn't grown. It was grown not outside.
Oh.
Greens grows theirs outside in the sunshine, and it grows much better. And then they freeze it in a special way and send the pellets to you.
Okay, so let's say that somebody wants to start doing wheatgrass and sprouting. Um, is it relatively easy for someone to do it themselves, or would it be easier to go with a company like what was the name of the company you mentioned?
Dynamic Greens.
Dynamic Greens. Okay, would it be better to go with a company like Dynamic Greens, or would it be better for somebody to do it themselves, or is it about sixes on that?
When I just moved to senior living, and at my home apartment, people would come over and we'd grow it together.
Mhm.
I had classes alive in person until COVID, and so in person it was great. We could all do it together and plan and so forth. But when COVID came, we went on Zoom, and then some people are far away on the other side or over in Europe or something, and so Rebecca Maxwell and Randy are very good about teaching people online how to do it step by step and how to sprout from a jar and so forth. They're very good.
So I'm curious. You said that you're in a senior living facility, and what is the average age of the person at the facility?
I don't know. I've met people that are in their 70s.
I would imagine you're probably one of the oldest and the healthiest. Am I correct?
Well, there are people that are 104 and
Oh
100.
my gosh. Okay. You just blew that one. So you're a baby compared to some of them.
My mother lived to 108.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. But let's say that somebody is in there because I'm 71 and I really pride myself in eating healthy. That's important to me because I want to I want to get to 81, 91, 101 and be healthy in the process. But I see people all around me, especially when I go to the grocery store, I see how unhealthy people have become. And what if people who are listening, because we have a lot of people who are already plant-based that listen and watch the show, and then we have other ones who are plant curious. They're like, is this really as good as they say it is? And I know from personal experience that it is. And I'm a baby vegan compared to you. I just celebrated 7 years. But I'm curious for somebody who is just starting out. They know they need to make changes. Maybe they went for their annual physical and the doctor said, you need to do something about either your weight, your high blood pressure, your type 2 diabetes. What can you recommend for people easing into a life of eating plants?
We, we start slowly with their first. They give me their objectives, what their objectives are. And so it depends on what their objectives are that we work on with them. But we start with the first week is just going over the whole curriculum
Mm-hmm.
and introducing themselves to the group and so forth, and what their objectives are, and getting a buddy, because a buddy is very important to have to work together on. This second week, um, uh, second week actually, I have people who have recovered from cancer share in their stories, and remarkable stories of how their cancer has diminished through a raw food diet and a lifestyle, the different lifestyles, and they're inspirational. And then the third week, we learn how to sprout. And so even people eating just a few sprouts and having the pleasure of seeing them grow and sprout from seeds, when you do them in water, just in a jar, it's fun. And then you go from doing it that way to doing it in earth and seeing them really grow. It's great. And the fourth week, we talk about cleansing, the importance to cleanse. And not cleanse on just a water cleanse, but a cleanse in juice. Stay on juice for 3 days. It really cleans you out. It's wonderful. And if you want to go more into cleansing, we do a liver gallbladder cleanse on the outside, and to help a lot of people clean out. And you can see the little cells that come out of your body that float, that are not healthy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we do a lot with cleansing, so that we can start. And with the eating properly at the same time, you begin to get really strong immune system, and you're feeling great.
So, with somebody going through your program, first of all, how would they enroll in your program? Is it virtual so that they could be anywhere in the world? Do you do in-person trainings, or it's all virtual?
Well, people can come over here anytime and I talk to them. So
Okay. And where are you located? What city?
in Marlborough, Mass.
Okay. So, if people want to reach out to you, how would they reach you?
They go to either to Betsy at eattothrive.info or Betsy at realkidsrealfood.org, which is my nonprofit.
Okay.
Or they can go to betsy.bragg at icloud.com.
Okay, and we'll make sure to put that in the show notes. And I want to talk about the Real Kids, Real Food, because yesterday I was headed to the gym, and I was about a block away, and there was a fire truck in the road, and there were 3 or 4 fire people that were assisting a young man who probably was in his early 20s, morbidly obese, and just like looked beat down because here he had the fire people around him doing, taking his stats and everything. And what I notice, and I think, there's no denying this, that our young people are becoming more and more unhealthy by the day. With your Real Kids, Real Food program, you're focusing on children. What is the whole premise of the program?
To eliminate obesity, chronic disease, and malnutrition through education and advocacy of healthy living. And the healthy living is the lifestyle at Hippocrates. It's the food that we eat. Medicine is thy food. And I've written a textbook, not a textbook, a recipe book.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, the kids love the recipes that are in it. They're easy. It shows them the tools. And parents are really amazed at things like a spiralizer that makes zucchini into noodles. And she loves them, the mothers. It's really amazing. And it's great to have the parents taking the Eat to Thrive and the kids taking the Real Kids, Real Food. Real food is anything that grows. And real kids eat real food. And it has to be organic food, not with pesticides in it, not
right.
with other processing things, but just fresh organic. They learn to go shopping, and the older ones can go with a pretend amount of money and make a meal, figure it out. And it's really good to figure out their budgets are much better than when you're on meat.
I think more and more we're realizing that it's actually much more cost effective to eat whole food, plant-based foods than
Yeah.
it is to eat the traditional meat and potatoes. Now, potatoes are great as long as you don't put all the garbage on them and the ultra processed foods that not only kids but adults are eating. With your Real Kids, Real Food program, do you have one success story that really stands out in your mind?
Well, Juan was an amazing young Mexican American, and he was diagnosed as pre-diabetic, and his mother was very worried because the whole family was overweight.
Hmm.
And so she was very eager to learn to take the To Thrive course at the same time and work with me and making their meal plans. And we found a company that on a trial basis would provide the family with enzymes and vitamins for the period of the course too. And she changed the meal plans at home and with the ones she was learning in Eat to Thrive. And in 2 months, when he went to check at the doctors, he didn't have any pre-diabetes again. And her fat daughters were slimming down and she was feeling much better too. So it was very exciting to find that they are, and now he's in college and doing very well.
That's a great story. I love that. And in kind of a family affair. If you remember that TV program, it's a family affair. And uh, yeah, and I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that there would be more success if the whole family got involved in the process. Am I correct?
Absolutely. And it's very exciting with when a man who's overweight starts to learn and has his secretary go to the grocery store with him so that he knows how because he's never been to a grocery store before. Many men and don't know that the vegetables are one place and the higher price things are in certain aisles
Right.
at height to catch your eye. and
So, oh, go ahead, please.
No, that's all right.
So I'm curious with everything that you've done, and you've written manuals and recipe books. If people were to take away one principle of what your whole message is, what would that principle be?
You are what you eat, maybe. Um, uh,
It's it's true. It's true. I mean, we see so many, myself, I used to be pretty overweight. I was a couch potato. I just didn't have the energy to do what I do today. I don't drink today. I don't smoke today. And I did both of those things quite extensively. Haven't had a drink in 42 years, haven't smoked in 31 years, I think it is. And I've been vegan for 7 years and eating a whole food plant-based diet. And I got to tell you, just taking care of this temple that I've been given, what a difference it makes. But I'm curious, what would you say are simple food choices that people could make to start moving towards a healthier way of living?
well, it's important to get enough water and good water. If you can't afford a system like the Kangen water machine, which I used to have, but it doesn't work here because it doesn't have water pressure here. I just got uh, a clearly filtered jug and
Hmm.
just has the filter, and it just takes a half an hour to make good, clean water. It's very good. And sometimes it needs to be tested to see if it has its minerals in it, but you can do that too. But having enough water, it's important to have half your weight in water. And and so for me, I'm now 135, and I lost 30 pounds when I went to the transformational program. And then I lost the 70 pounds the following year. And uh, starting off with each morning with 16 ounces of water with lemon juice in it or apple cider vinegar in it. And then you can have a choice of different breakfasts. You can have it with uh, here at my assisted living. I have oatmeal for breakfast with oat milk, and it's very nutritious. And I put some bananas on top, and so it feels good in the morning. But I used to be able to add different things, and it starts well too. For lunch, I'm happy to have a salad, and I used to what I did when I had in a condo. I would do all my shopping on Sunday and prepare because I was working, prepare the Tupperwares with
Hmm.
the salad in it, except for the things like avocado, which I would add that morning. But I'd make a healthy salad with garbanzo beans or other beans in it too, and beets and uh, all sorts of things that could be all fine for the week and not spoil. And then just add a little something when I come home from work or when I take them to lunch to work. And so uh, it's very easy to have everything prepared and have them with you, and to have snacks that you can eat in the car, such as your sprouted beans. They take a few days to sprout, and you can have them by the handful in your car when you get hungry.
Excellent, excellent. So, where you live now, have you influenced people to try a more plant-based lifestyle? Has that been evident to you?
Well, I was very glad for Tony, our who runs the dining room. When I moved in, he brought vegan options to the menu. And so it now has vegan options people can choose from. But I uh, haven't met anybody I've really influenced. People in their 70s up are not very interested in changing their lifestyle.
Right, right.
Right.
Which, it's never too late. I mean, it's like, gosh, we still have years ahead of us. So let's do the best we can. Now, looking ahead, Betsy, what's your biggest hope for the future of Eat to Thrive and the Real Kids Food Program?
Well, I really want to get the Real Kids, Real Food into the public schools.
Hmm.
And my vision is to get them maybe into Boston first and and get them in the Boston um, uh, after school program. And what I do is I train people like to become health educators. And once they're health educators, then they can carry on and teach the program themselves. And I do the same with Real Kids, Real Food. If I can get people trained to teach it, they can start their own groups in their homes. And I've done it in churches. I've done it in boys and girls clubs. I've done it in inner city schools in Dorchester, uh, uh, different places I've gone to, and Mayor Menino felt at the school Martin Luther King School in Dorchester. He said it was just after it reopened, it united elementary and secondary together. He said, "Well, my grandchildren go here, and they've got to have a good food plan." Done, and so Michelle Obama was great influence.
She was so spot on with what she was doing, and unfortunately, the political climate was such that no matter what she said, it wasn't going to be accepted by certain groups of people, and it's really sad because if it would have been implemented at the level that I think she envisioned it, we'd be in a whole different conversation about the health of our nation. And what saddens me right now with the Make America Healthy Again is they want to put milk back in school, whole milk. And it's like,
It's terrible.
it is terrible. And I think, with what you're doing, and one of the reasons I have this podcast is to showcase people that are actually doing some amazing things in the world. And I really want to put it out to the audience that if you know anybody that has influence within school systems, get in touch with Betsy, because she has a program that can make a difference in the way that kids study, their sleep patterns, their overall mental well-being. And right now we're having an issue with that because of social media. I could get on a soapbox about that, but Betsy, is there anything that I should have asked you that I haven't asked you, or anything you want to share with the audience before we wrap this up?
Well, if anybody would like to run this program, please get in touch with me. I would love you to take the program, and then you can be my assistant. Last year, at age 90, I still taught in the after school program with 40 kids, but now it's getting a little hard.
Mhm.
And but I'm glad to help you run, first you have to experience yourself. So you could take my course and then go ahead and I'll help you. I've got all the materials. I've got the book, this book, the Real Kids, Real Food lesson plan book.
Excellent, excellent.
I have the whole thing on videos and a lot of other materials that I'd be glad to give you and get you started and work with you on a regular basis to make your program thrive under you.
I love it. I love it. And we'll make sure to put all your contact in the show notes so that people can reach out to you. More information about the programs that you run. And again, I encourage anybody listening, if you have inroads into the school systems, please reach out to Betsy because this is a phenomenal program. And literally by the day, our children are getting more and more unhealthy, and we need to reverse that. We absolutely do. So Betsy, I just want to say thank you so much for being a guest on my show. This has been delightful, and you give me something to look forward to. I'm 20 years behind you, and I'm looking forward to catching up to at least the age you are today. So with that, thank you so much, Betsy. And for those people out there, be sure to think about the choices you make, the foods that you consume, and the lifestyle you live so that you can be vibrant into your 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. This is Kathleen Gage with Plant-Based Eating for Health podcast show, wishing you a healthy day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You've been listening to the Plant-Based Eating for Health podcast show. I'm your host, Kathleen Gage, inviting you to subscribe to this channel wherever you're listening or watching the show. And please let your friends know about the Plant-Based Eating for Health podcast show. Live healthy.